I can very easily put three reasons for my continuing in this. One is, of course, my family tradition. The second reason is my staff. And the third, the kind of regard and respect the younger generation, the people from the digital era, they give to this analog machine is very interesting, and that keeps me very busy and interestingly busy in typewriter trade. To tell you, we as a family are into typewriters for the last more than 100 years. My grandfather, who joined Remington Company in the year 1912 in Lahore as a sales officer, it's there that we started as a family into this. And my father, in the year 1937, started with the name Universal Typewriter Company, established his business again in Lahore. And 10 years later, the partition happened. So from Lahore, he moved to Bombay, where till date we have a setup. And I joined my family business way back in 1974-75, and ever since I have been in typewriters. After independence in the 1947, the Indian government in a single stroke banned import of all typewriters. They said only those companies will be allowed to continue in India who are agreeing for a manufacturing plant in India with Indian collaboration. And interestingly, Remington came forward in that, was the first company. They set up a plant with the name Remington Rand of India Limited in Howrah near Calcutta. Almost simultaneously, that is early 1950s, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru spoke to Mr. Godrej and asked him to produce an indigenous typewriter, which Mr. Godrej took as a challenge, and he produced the first indigenous typewriter with the brand name Godrej. Though it was not a very commercially successful machine, but then later on, Godrej also had a technical collaboration with a German brand, Optima. Initial, which we can now call as failed models of typewriters, they did not have a keyboard to start with. And then when they had keyboard, different combinations were tried. And finally this QWERTY keyboard was declared as the most convenient keyboard when you type with 10 fingers, 2 thumbs and 4 fingers on the left and 4 fingers on the right. To type English words, most commonly used English words like THE. It is so convenient to type T with this finger, H with this finger and E with this finger. So that is how the QWERTY keyboard was developed, and it was declared at the best, and it remains the most comfortable way to type English characters till date, even in all the computers of English language. Size-wise, there are basically two types of typewriters. One is the standard desktop, and the standard desktop came in various roller sizes, but they were all desktop machines. And the other category is the portable. Portable means something which you can carry in a box or a case. In India, there were only two brands. One was JK, the same group which makes JK Cement and JK Tires even today. They made JK portable typewriters way back in early 60s to early 70s, just for about 10 years. Then Remington started making portable typewriters in another plant they set up in Faridabad. This also they continued for about 10 years, and they stopped making portables. For the Indian market, 1990 was the best period for typewriter production. We were annually producing about 2 lakh typewriters, all 4 or 5 brands put together in India. And it is soon after 1990, because of the computers coming, the typewriter industry started going down to the extent that in India, typewriter manufacturers shut their production one by one. And finally, in the year 2008-9, Godrej stopped making typewriters, and they announced on the internet that this was the last factory making typewriters the world over. In Delhi, we had more than 200 dealers dealing in typewriters. And today, there is just about nobody in Delhi other than me who has a proper setup doing typewriter repairing and restoration and sale purchase, etc. Why the younger generation is also very keen and interested in typewriters is because of certain technical facts, like just about 14 kgs in weight. A desktop machine has more than 2,500 components, and not only the number of components, the kind of accuracy required for making these typewriters, assembling these typewriters, and now even restoring these typewriters is really fantastic. Any individual who calls himself a typewriter technician will have at least 30 years of experience of repairing typewriters. I have a very interesting story. An Indian, and he was studying mechanical engineering in Germany. He said, I want a typewriter. I asked him, why do you need a typewriter? He says, just to see the mechanical movement of components in a typewriter. And after he purchased the typewriter from me, he was in touch with me and he said, my hostel room where I have kept the typewriter is the center of attraction for all the students of my class because of the typewriter. Almost every other day I get a customer who comes, not only I find him or her interesting, I learn something from them. For example, a young boy came, I showed him my collection, and one odd and very rare brand, Rheinmetall, is lying in my typewriter collection. And this young boy told me that Rheinmetall is today making heavy war weapons. I didn't know that. The most interesting part is that I give a fully functional, duly restored typewriter which can work for decades after once it has been restored and duly serviced. My collection is still just kept in one room. I am looking forward to a proper place where I can have a proper functional typewriter museum, with the unique selling point being that all the typewriters in my museum will be functional. When a machine comes to me in a very rough condition and with due efforts and hard work and the kind of experience of my technician, we bring it back to full functionality. It really gives me a thrill.